There's a conversation that happens inside medical and law school admissions offices that most applicants never hear. It happens in committee rooms and in the margins of application files. It's the little moment a dean closes a folder and decides. I spent over 15 years in that room. This is GradMissions Office Hours. I'm Autumn Rains Lockett, and every week my team and I bring that conversation out into the open because the process was never meant to be a mystery, and your future is too important for guesswork. Let's get to work. All right, let's get down to it. We are coming to you at the very kickoff of the LSAC Forum application cycle for fall 2027. So if you want to start law school in the fall of 2027, that might sound a long way away. You're like, Autumn, we're in the middle of summer 2026, or what are you talking about? Hear it first from me, folks. This is the time to start getting your application together. And we know that because LSAC just had their very first forum of the cycle, which is always in Washington, D.C. So I'm coming to you live from D.C. today, fresh off the LSAC forum, and we're here to answer all of your questions about what to expect.
And I find it exciting. I loved when we worked in admissions and got to go to the forums because you get to see friends from other schools, and it's just fun and exciting to meet new people and answer their questions about your school. And I think they're really fun. And I think if you have an opportunity to attend one, you definitely should.
In this day post-COVID, where so much is virtual, I mean, like our whole business is virtual.
Yeah.
I was excited to see a couple of our clients pop in and was able to kind of talk them through a game plan and kind of get that thing, just their first little soiree into meeting law school started. But I think from like a networking perspective, from just the like being a human in the universe perspective, there is an energy in that room, getting in a giant ballroom space with people who are also afflicted with the same hustle that you are. And they had that same goal of going to law school. I was, checking into the hotel, and there was a gentleman checking in to the right of me, and he was like, "Oh, what school are you with?" Because that's what you say. Like, we're all getting there a day before you all, so we could set up our tables and all of that. And I was like, "Well, I'm not with the school anymore," and kind of explained who I was. And he was like, "Well, I'm John." And I was like, "So nice to meet you, John." We shook hands. And I was like, "What school are you with?" And he was like, "Yale." I was like, of course you are. So I was like, "Oh yeah, that little hack law school," like teased him a little bit. We kind of talked. I was like, "Actually, we have some clients in common, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, and so I hadn't met John before, but I was so surprised as I like meandered and made my way down to the ballroom. I ran into probably 7 people who, I haven't been on the road recruiting in at least 5 years for law school. And still, like these folks, no, some of them are at a different school because, law admissions folks are pretty nomadic. We follow our law school deans where they go. The average life of a law school dean is not life, but like cycle tenure out of law school is about 3 years. So it is a pretty nomadic experience. So if you think that the law schools at these who are being represented at these tables are like really like against each other and we're super competitive, we're not, right? We are all sharing a ride to the airport, going to see a Broadway show. Like Beetlejuice was showing around the corner and there was a big like group of people going. So there's just it's like law school con. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It is fun. It is fun. And people remember you if you come to their table and speak
Oh my
with them.
gosh. Yes. Yeah. Let me tell you a little secret. And Liza, you can back me up on this. We're trying to prove ROI to our deans so we can keep traveling to these fun places and hanging out with our friends. So like we want you to come to the table, let us scan your little card so we know to send you an application fee waiver. And then we get to report back to our dean, like, look how many applications I got because I attended this forum. And then we get to come back again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love
So
it.
if you're thinking like there's no reason for me to go, absolutely go if you can make it happen.
Yeah.
What is the kind of first step a student would take to find out what forums are near them? How do they, go about signing up for one? Is my first question. Like, how do I take advantage of this opportunity? How do I know about it? How do I get there? And then my sort of second part question is, can you kind of paint a day in the life? What does that look like for the student going through the forum so that I'm less nervous when I get there? I know what to expect. I kind of can see that through you all.
Yeah. So you can sign up on lsac.org, I think it is. So
we'll link it in the show notes.
We'll
link the forum map.
But the Law School Admissions Council, so you'll use that website quite a lot. That's where you submit your applications, where you do all of your CAS report, and use LSAC for all things law applications. And so they will have the forums on there with the calendar and then with registration. So you just go through there
And it's
and
free.
check out.
It's like
It's
the
free.
one thing LSAC's going to give you for free.
Yeah, that's
Always take the free stuff.
That's right.
for sure. Yes, it is free. And then they'll tell you where to go. It's typically in a hotel in a large ballroom. And you'll go that day, you'll sign in, you'll have a name tag. I think you'll already have an LSAC
You
number at
have to
that
have an
point.
LSAC ID number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you probably have to pay for that to at least register, not for the forum itself, but to register with LSAC.
Mhm.
I can't remember.
I don't think so. Not until
Okay.
you like register for the test or anyway. Don't get us
Anyway, so
slang. Go on there.
you may have already paid, may not, but do not, it is free to attend the forum. So go on there, register, you'll get a number, it'll put it'll be on your ID badge, and you'll be in there with lots of people. It can be, if you don't love crowds, it can be very crowded.
Yeah.
So kind of having a game plan going into the forum would be my suggestion.
Mhm.
And so do some research on a school list or some schools that you're interested in. Um, I do remember being on the other side of the table, and you could tell there were students who hadn't made a school list, and they're just walking around like looking at, you know, the different school names and like, well, should I talk to them? Should I not? And so having kind of a loose game plan,
Yeah.
knowing maybe 10 schools that you want to contact while you're there, could be good. And looking on their website, a lot of law schools now have very active social media. We always tell people look on there to kind of get, I hate this word, but the vibe of the school. They'll have
Mhm.
a student saying, spend the day with me as a 1L at XYZ Law School. Read up on, you can look at their 509 report. You can look at their numbers, but then you can also look at programs, the school's mission, if they have that, and just kind of see. And then, if you have geographic preferences, that as well. But definitely have some sort of a loose list at least that you want, to try and talk to those schools.
Nice.
And it's a little bit of a maze
Yeah.
because to make things fair, like they shift up. It's not in alphabetical order, the law
Yeah.
schools. And so basically when you get there that day, they will give you a map of what it is. And so what I was doing with our clients, they were popping by our table and we were just kind of marking the different schools they were going to go to. We were strategizing which order they should go to. And then that way you sort of have your plan of attack because for some of the bigger schools, especially those, top 5 to 7 law schools, there will be massive lines. And so,
Yeah.
sort of strategizing when you want to do what can be really helpful too. So, just especially if you're a person who gets a little anxious in crowds, a little pre-gaming
Yeah,
is going to be helpful for you.
for sure.
Is this a
And
one and done? Oh, sorry.
oh,
Like
I was
if you go to one, is it the same as the others? I guess was the question.
They're all pretty much the
yeah,
same. There will be, there are definitely some forums that have more schools. The Miami one is typically a little smaller. Chicago and Boston are typically a little smaller. DC was a pretty good size. The biggest
Mhm.
one is the one in New York. I will be there as well. It's in October. Houston is usually really big. So you may have a few more schools at some of the bigger forums. Like not every school goes to every forum.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Atlanta's pretty big just
Okay.
because it's really the only one
Yeah.
besides Miami in the South.
Yeah.
I mean Houston, like the Southeast.
That's
And
right.
so it's a big one, but
LA is big.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, if you see a school that has a large line, try, I would not spend hours waiting in line for one school. Just say, okay, it's not going to happen for me today. I'm not going to talk to Georgetown today, but I would try and speak to more schools than waiting for just one school because it really is the only opportunity that you have for a representative from every school in one room. And so making that plan of attack and going from there.
Yeah.
But some people will wait forever. And when I say people remember you coming to the tables, yes, but sometimes those larger schools, I don't know how they would remember everyone, but you'll at least be able to write your name down and
Right.
send you some information. But if you're able to go to a table and talk one-on-one with someone for at least a few minutes, and it's going to help you too when you're writing your YX law school, you could plug that in. I went to this
Yeah, I would
forum
name drop. I would write down the name of
Name
the person
drop
you talked to.
100%. I met with this alumni
Hmm.
because sometimes it'll be someone from student services or the admissions office. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh, we have an alumni who lives and works in DC. We're going to reach out to her to see if she'll work the forum for us
Or a
or
current
with
student.
or with
Students
us."
loved for us to send them
Yes,
to the
they do.
forum.
Free lunch. Free lunch.
I mean, what a cool
Um,
experience. Yeah.
and so having that one-on-one conversation so that obviously you can learn more about the school, but then thinking about your application too, saying, I met with Autumn Lockett and she talked to me about this experience that she had and it really impressed me and made me want to learn more about your school and apply to your school. So thinking of it as learning about their school, but then also helping your application, I think is a good way to approach it.
Nice.
I'm going to give you a life hack really quick. So I would advise hitting the schools that are a little lesser known or that won't be as
Mhm.
crowded first, making sure that you write down the person's name. Hopefully, you also get their email address. They'll usually have a card or something out on the table. And then as you wait in the line for Harvard, go ahead and send your thank you emails.
Yeah.
Nice.
Delay send them till the next morning. But I do think if you meet someone warm in person, I think a little thank you email. It was so nice to meet you. My name was this. I look forward to applying to your school in the fall. I mean, that's a good use of your time standing in line.
It is. And it stands out because we
Yes.
know we would maybe meet 25, say one at a smaller when we met 30 students and we got maybe 3 emails thanking
Right.
us. That stands out because a lot
Yes,
of
it
the time,
does.
Real pro tip.
like I'm not just handing out freebie, you can tell the ones that I just want a pen, but they've limited how many pens you can give out. But, there's some who they just want to get a quick information and leave, and that's fine. But the people who stay and ask thoughtful questions and actually want to know about you and your school stand out so much.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
With the caveat that you're not standing there talking to them for 30 minutes. There are other
Yeah.
people who want
Yeah.
to,
Be mindful.
yeah. And so you don't want to say, "Oh, will you read my personal statement?"
No, no, no.
You
This isn't
know,
that.
yeah, and I'm jumping it ahead to like good questions to ask, but
No, that was
don't
going to be
ask
my
questions
next.
that
Like,
you
what do
can,
you say?
yeah, don't ask questions that you can read off
What's
of
your
the,
median LSAT?
right. Like they're going to have a little
Google
pamphlet
it.
or maybe a
Yeah.
QR code leading to all those numbers.
Mhm.
Do your due diligence and just read that. But you could ask, what stands out in an applicant for your school?
Yeah.
Or tell them, I'm really interested in this area of the law. Can you tell me about offerings that you have there? Make it a really thoughtful question that you
Yep.
can't just read on the website.
Yeah.
Again, just practically speaking, it's a waste of your time too, because you can just read that on the
That's right.
website on your ride
That's
home.
right.
So thinking through just really thoughtful questions, or if it's a student, tell me about your experience. Do you feel like you have good community there? Are your professors, are you able to go to office hours and have conversations with your professors? And so, depending on who you're speaking with, I would ask, just thoughtful questions so that you can learn more and obviously you would stand out more as an applicant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Also
So
ask for a
asking
fee
about,
waiver. Also
Oh,
ask for
yeah.
a fee waiver.
Yep.
Yeah.
oh yeah, the fee waiver, asking about what stands out on the application, asking about what about like activities, opportunities, things like that. That's gonna be in the brochure. But if it's a student, obviously you can get a little bit more rich
Yep.
detail from them about which were the ones you felt like were most impactful or beneficial, or
Yep.
what did you enjoy the most? But maybe even asking a student services staff member, what do your students say is their favorite opportunity that you offer? Or do you have like a version of that that you would share that you think they could
Mhm.
ask?
That's a great question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and you can also, if it is an admissions staff member, you could ask them about um, things that you would, like you were saying, Lori, you could ask about the student experience. You could ask about scholarships. You could ask about what that process looks like.
Mhm.
Also, I think you should ask about visiting the school because sometimes it's a little blurry what that might
Yes.
look like. Some schools invite you in before you submit your application. Some want you after. Like, I would even ask, what's the best time for me to come
What's the
visit?
best time for me to
Yeah.
come? Because if you had asked me about the institution we worked at, I would say the best time to come is the weekend of a home football game.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
come and see campus when it's alive. Like that's when I would recommend. And I would say like, oh, like this is a specific time. So different campuses are going to have
Mhm.
different,
Right.
my Minnesota is going to say come in the fall when it's still
Yes.
warm, right? Like they're going to give you the
Right.
best advice about when you should come.
Right. And I always tell people go and ask about visiting because when you go on the website, oh, well, I signed up on a Saturday to go on a tour. I'm like, you're not going to see anything on a Saturday.
Not one thing.
Um, so I know sometimes it's easier to just, read about it or go on a website, but if you have a live person that you can ask these questions to, please
Right.
take advantage.
Can we talk about some questions not to ask?
Yes.
Red flags, things you don't want to bring up.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, so, we were at the forum, and of course, we were in the resources section. I was sharing a table with Hey Future Lawyer, and we were between, like lots of other people. And so it wasn't quite the same vibes as being in the ballroom, but we literally had people say, "Are you a lawyer?" Just like
Mm.
that. Like, okay, that's interesting because there are going to be a lot of different kinds of people manning these tables or womaning these tables, personing these
Mhm.
tables. Some of them, yes, will be attorneys. Some of them will be career educators. Some of
Yeah.
them will be someone who works in career services like Morgan, and so
Yep.
you just don't know. And that's kind of an aggressive, like, what are you hoping to get out of that? Like the
Right.
person who's at that table was deemed by that school to be the
Yep.
expert to come and work the table. Like, why are you giving them a job interview? That's silly. Number two, what was your LSAT score?
Mhm.
And maybe it's because we
Um,
were like an LSAT prep table, but like that's like walking up to someone at a gym and being like, how much do you weigh?
Right.
Like and just like, can we take that out of your mouth right now? Like, I
Yeah.
would like for you to never ever ask anyone what their LSAT score was.
Please don't do it during orientation.
Oh
You're
my
gonna be that
gosh,
person.
please,
Fastest way to
please.
lose friends.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
And like, are we all wondering it? Yeah. But it's like those people who comment on socials about when someone passes away and they ask, well, how'd they die? Like,
Yeah,
it's just obtuse.
for
And
sure.
so let's just not ask people what their LSAT or GPA is. It's just
Yeah.
bad form.
Yeah.
And you won't remember it when you get to be.
No. And what does it matter? Are you trying to make yourself better? There's enough LSAT points for everyone. Just do your
Yeah,
work. Don't be
for sure.
lazy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sorry.
Another one I didn't love was coming up to the table and saying, I have this GPA and I have this LSAT. How much money are you going to give me?
Ooh, yuck.
I'm
Mm.
like,
That's rude.
okay, well,
Hi.
yeah. Hello. How are you? My name's Lizanne. What's
Oh
your
my gosh,
name?
that's where we
Yeah.
start. Stick out your hot little hand and shake hands. And if you're a person
Yeah.
who doesn't do that, I did have a couple of elbow
Sure.
bumps, and I'm okay with that little fist
Yeah,
bump.
it's
Hi,
fine.
this is
Mhm.
enough. If you don't want to
Yep.
touch people, you could just do a
Yep.
little friendly Vanessa Van Edwards wave. And I think that the other thing, oh, this is something you should know. So anyone who attends an LSAC forum on the other side of the table from you has signed an agreement to a certain level of professionalism.
Yeah.
And that means we can't come out in front of the table. We can't have more than two pins on our table if we're a school. And number three, we cannot say anything comparing our school to other schools. We cannot talk about US News Rank. We cannot talk about employment outcomes. We cannot talk about, I mean, we can talk about our own school's outcomes. We
Yep.
cannot talk about any of that in comparison to other schools. We are within 2 feet from other schools on either side of us. And it's just uncouth. Like, that's just
Yeah.
not a socially acceptable thing to do. And LSAC has said this is an environment where you can educate about your school, but you're not to talk about other schools. And so when a student walks up to my table and says like, well, why should I go to your school instead of this one? Like, that's just the flavor of that is just already
Yeah.
sort of antagonistic. And in my like brain, I'm like, ooh, like this person's a little bit aggressive. Is even
Yep.
if that's not how you meant it, that's how it comes across.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it doesn't make you look good. Well, and like, oh, well, they're really competitive and they want to do really well. It doesn't come off that
Right.
way.
Right.
Um, Especially because, like Autumn was saying, you're friends with the other people in the room,
Oh my
the
gosh,
from the
yes.
schools. I mean, yes, you're like you joke, like, oh, you're my competition. It's like, but we're all friends here. We're
Yeah.
trying to build the best class that we can. I'm not going to another school and poaching someone else.
Gosh,
That's bad
no.
form. And so I don't know if that's in the Reddit atmosphere or something like, oh, well, if you go try and, have them sell themselves to you, you have a better, I don't know, but it's just
It's not that kind of market right now, honey. Like, if
right.
you're reading that on Reddit, the law schools are
Yeah,
fighting for you, you're reading about something from 2012 because there's
right.
there's 10 people lined up behind you. And I'm not saying that to be ugly, but
Yeah.
like you need to stand out for the right reason. So think about like the tone and vibes of what you're asking.
Yeah.
And you want to come off as someone who is positive,
Mhm.
who is a lifelong
Very-
learner,
Yep.
inquisitive, like it's going to bring the kind of vibes to the class that they want. And so I just think, I don't know, if, I saw this thing that said, if you're looking for a yellow car, you're going to see a yellow car. And so
Mhm.
if you're like approaching this as kind of like a competitive, like if you're feeling some sort of way about whether or not you're worthy of going to law school, like you need to talk with your therapist about it before you come and try to have a session with the person at a table.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And approach it as, I don't, I'm probably repeating myself, but asking questions. You don't need to talk about yourself. You can say, well, I'm in DC doing this internship, and
Yeah, that's great. A little
of
connection
course, but it
point.
doesn't need to be, you do not need to regurgitate the pieces of your application to that person. Like Autumn said, you're coming to be inquisitive, you're curious, you're learning about the school that would best fit you and your goals. And so
Don't
you
jump
don't
to
need
the
to,
third date on the first.
right.
Some good mama advice right there. I love that. I think that a lot of times students go into these big fairs and they forget the face that's behind the table
Mhm.
is a human who has made that their life's work and
Yeah.
is
Oh my
really proud
gosh.
and
Yes.
loves it. And they're just like, you're the robot who can answer my question, right?
Yep.
So, like, yeah, yes,
Beep,
bring
bop,
your
boop.
genuine
Yep.
questions, but yeah, like, don't bring a red flag along with it, right?
It's kind of like what we're talking. This fits in well with the networking podcast we did,
Yeah.
right?
It
It's like
does.
shift your goal for this to be learning about the school, not you getting something
Let's pause and
out
pour
of
one out, a little cup of coffee for Morgan because we talked about
doing this thing.
networking.
Yes. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Morgan's on
Morgan.
vacation today.
She's thinking about networking while she's on
You know she
vacation.
is.
hmm She totally is. But yeah, so just approaching it in a different way. Take a
Mhm.
breath. You're just, your whole application is not dependent on how you behave at this fair and how put yourself out there.
That's right.
But you will make an impression and they will remember
They will.
you and you want it to be a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of think of it as, because this is me, Enneagram 7. Hi, like looking to have a good time. I think of it as like a law school pep rally, right? Like we're all in there together and it's like very High School Musical and like
Mhm.
everyone who's there is, especially these early ones, like I think by like the November fairs, we're tired. Okay, we're
Yeah.
done. We're exhausted. We're ready. We're reading stacks of applications in our hotel rooms between meeting you. Like we are exhausted. So if you can go to an earlier fair, I think
That's a
that's
good tip
a good
too, like
idea,
timing
right?
of it,
Do it
right?
before apps open. Yeah.
But like you going in there and just getting energized. And the other thing is you're going to meet your potential like legal network there too.
Yeah.
So when you're standing in line with somebody, ask them what they're doing. Like you should also
Mhm.
be networking with your fellow fair attendees.
Mhm.
I had so many people walk up to our table and they were, they're talking. And I was like, oh, are y'all like applying together? Are y'all going to start your own law firm someday? Because you know me, I'm always dreamscaping and manifesting. And they're like, oh, no, we just met. Like we met in line with Stanford. And so we just joined
Mhm.
forces and now we're, and like, oh my gosh, that's
Yeah, I love that.
precious. Like that is also networking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's an opportunity, like, don't look down at your phone the whole time you're in line.
Ah, put your phone
Talk to the
away.
people around
Oh
you,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Do
Sure.
you see future applicants bringing like business cards? Do they do that? Do they share that
There's not
information?
really a reason to. Most of us flew, so like you giving us stuff to try to find room for in our bag, it's kind of annoying. We have and I did advise, I have a couple of clients who have really impressive resumes, and I was like,
Mhm.
put your LSAC ID number on that and slide that across the table. I think a resume is okay because I can put that
Yeah.
in. But when they scan your LSAC, you have a little QR code on your name tag, and when they scan that, they're going to have a way to email you. They're going to have all of that information. Again, it's kind of a first date.
Yeah.
Speed
Mhm.
dating.
What
Yep.
about networking together? Do you see them sharing information that way? Would you suggest that they try to stay in contact with that person they just met
Oh
in line
yeah, I
before
think
coming
that's a
in?
great idea, especially if it's somebody that you like. I mean, even if they
Mhm.
end up at a law school across the country from you, they're still a legal network. They're still a legal community.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I am excited. I hope that we've given you a little peek behind the curtain of what to expect. The other thing I know you all probably get so tired of me saying this, especially our med friends. So hopefully they're not here to have to hear this. It's all law today.
They're writing their secondaries.
They're
It's
all
okay.
in second. That's
Yeah.
right. They're all,
They
they're all in
should
their
be
bunkers,
anyway.
right? I picture Paris
Let's
Geller
pour one
in the
out for
Real
them.
Daily News. That's right,
Gonna-
exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to our secondaries. But at the end of the forum, when you get back home, just journal a little bit. Like,
Yep.
what did you hear? Was it you think you're going to remember what those law schools said, but here in, the next couple of weeks when you start writing your YX law school, like remembering those details, send a follow-up thank you to anyone you met. And that's just the way that you really stand out. And if it's a school who you talked about coming to visit, in that email, you could say, like, just, was wanting to go ahead and see if I could get on your calendar for, my favorite time to visit a law school is between when you hit submit on your application and sometime mid to late October. So if you can visit before they review your application, but when they have your application to review before you walk in the door, that's the best sweet spot. So go ahead and ask, like, can I get my date on your calendar right now? And then if they haven't sent you an application fee waiver, follow up about that. Sometimes they will automatically loaded into your LSAC account. So like it could be there, you just don't know. And so if you're wondering, just ask them. Like that's completely fine to do.
Yeah. And I
It's
always
great.
talk about fee waivers. Like Autumn was talking about at the beginning of the podcast, they want their app numbers up. They want to say, look at all these applications we've gotten in. And so never be afraid or embarrassed to ask for a fee waiver.
Absolutely not.
Love that.
I
And
always
it's so great to have some follow-up fodder. Like I wanted to follow up with them, but I don't know what to ask. Here's 2 questions. Fee waiver, when can I visit?
Yeah. And okay in that email to attach your resume. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of it because then they don't have to carry it back with them, right? And it's right there. They may just go ahead and upload it to like their student portal side of the house for you, or maybe anyway. I think that's probably a better idea than like taking it to the forum itself. Sure. Hopefully we've convinced you to come to an LSAC forum. If you are attending the one in New York, you can come and see me. I'm a hugger. I'll step out around the table and give you a hug. And we can talk about that. And then if you are a person who's having to decide, visit a campus or go to an LSAC forum, I do think a campus visit has like a stronger connection. But if you're able to hit more of the schools that are on your list and you're really excited about, I do think a forum is a good substitute for flying all around the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back next.
Email us with questions.
Oh my gosh, please email us with questions. Yes, and share this with a friend who's nervous about a forum. We're excited to kick this off. And if you have any questions about your own law school application journey, you can email me, autumn@gradmissions.org, or find the link in our show notes to book a call and get on my calendar, and we can start plotting your application journey.
The perfect time to plot.
Yeah, it is. Bye, y'all.
Great. Bye.